Hello everyone and welcome back to Robo Brick. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. My daughter actually put this together for me. It's one of the sets that I've kind of been sitting on for a while. I don't know if you want to tell her or not, but I think I picked up two of these. I like the idea mainly because on the outside, and I have some other bricks in here from when we were doing our space kind of sets. On the outside we have our kind of mountain design here. I figured that maybe I could fit this into something else. I just haven't figured out exactly where. Looking at it all put together because, you know, I'm sitting there at work and she wanted to put something together, so I told her to grab something and this is what she grabbed. So now I finally get to see it myself. So, I mean, it is kind of a guilty thing to sit here and say I really don't know as much about it as she does, and she was showing me a little bit because I said, well, maybe I'll kind of show this off here tonight. Granted, this is probably an outdated set. I don't think you could pick it up anywhere anymore unless you pick it up on Amazon, probably for a prettier penny than what I had gotten it for. And I remember I picked these up on clearance. So many of the sets that I have, I pick them up on clearance when I can. I am a big fan of Star Wars, so when it comes to Star Wars, usually I'll pick up like the first ship, and then if I can pick up extra ones, because at some point my thought is I'm going to have like an airport or something like that, and I will have some extra fighters and all that sitting on there. So like having an extra TIE fighter or an X-Wing or something like that sitting on there, I think would be pretty cool. So looking at this, we have a figure in the back, and we have a Shark Man. This is from the Ninjago movie set. Set number, so I look over at the book, 70631. Okay, so we have our Shark Man sitting here in the back. Actually, the face is pretty good. I don't have too much of an issue. It's kind of neat, interesting. I really do not follow the Ninjago on the show, on their animated show for what they've been doing, so I don't know where they're sitting there on that stuff, but I do remember watching the Ninjago movie, and it's interesting. I like when Lego tries to come up with their own stuff here. The one thing that kind of bothered me, I didn't know exactly how I'd fit this in here, is we do have a lava flow, and I did understand that. This is a kind of a water mountain or water hideout. Has a nice little look here, so a nice evil look. I believe this is Garmadon. I believe that's how we call his name. And then he has his little scientist. I do remember all that stuff. So, and their scientist had the big fluffy beard, kind of a big fluffy face on him. Looks like he could be an interesting character, a little tie-dye in there. Kind of funny to think about it in those regards. Now you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit. I know that watching the movie, he had a bunch of his minions, and they all had different fish features on them, which is one of the things I kind of liked. Is like, okay, so we have different masks and different features. So some of it's just kind of slapstick silly to me, which I'm perfectly fine with. I've thought about, in my own silliness or whatever, having some bad guys maybe kind of modeled after these guys, just for something out there. And of course we have him, and again, forgive me, I think it's Kai's father, I think. So I don't know if this is Kai or what we have here, the White Ninja. It's been a while since I watched the movie, and it's been a while since these have been out, so I don't remember who all the ninjas were. It was an interesting set. I know there was some other ones that I was kind of thinking about and that, but I didn't pick them up because I just kind of missed out on them. So, but my daughter wanted to kind of show me. On the very top we have, and I'm hoping you can see this, we have this, and what that does is that actually shoots off this piece. So you actually have this piece sitting up there, and this will actually shoot that off. So if you have somebody attached to that piece, it will go for a little flight, And I think I have the bow backwards. And then there's also a piece on the bottom here where it says danger. If you flip this, it knocks that wall down. She wanted to show me that because I mentioned that we'll probably show this off tonight. It's been another long day at work, so trying to get some comics done. I'm trying to get some ideas. If you guys have any ideas for me, please feel free to let me know in the comics. It is nice to see that we have a little coffee maker and a little cup of coffee, all their computer work. This, I have a similar set as a bigger set. And I'm going to say it this way, it's going to sound silly and maybe even really goofy. I liked how they had the kind of older Asian look of a cart being pulled by a person, as a silliness, because it's something we don't typically see. Just like I picked up a Harry Potter set. I do Dungeons and Dragons, and I do a lot of Star Wars and stuff like that. One of the things I don't really do is I don't do a lot of magic users. So oddly enough, Harry Potter I didn't really get into too much. It's an interesting franchise. I'm just not a big magic user. I remember playing 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons. I know I'm old, and we used to have components that you had to have, and I remember, and this is the one thing that just kind of flipped me out as far as being a magic user. You had to have a couple components, and then you had to, do your little casting on it. And one of the things was a live spider, and you were supposed to eat it in order to walk on walls. I am not eating the spider. I'm sorry. That kind of killed it for me. So as stupid as that is, I understand that it's an imaginary world. Nope, not even an imaginary play am I going to do that. So I will be a cleric, and I will help everybody out. But there again, I also run the games, so usually my silliness and my imagination is what helps us come up with our adventures, because I get to make all that. Which is why I try to think, in some regards, I have a little bit of an imagination. Hopefully you guys think so too. And then, we come up with our funny things here. But we have a crane here that's kind of neat. I do like that idea, so you can kind of pick things up. I just never put this together because I didn't know exactly where I'd fit it into a city, and I came home and here she had this together. I told her she could put something together for me. That's not a problem. I'm not mad at her. I just haven't figured out where I'm going to fit this in my little city. And I need to take you guys around. I need to clean it up a little bit more. And the funny thing is, I've been looking around at some other people that have been doing Legos and all that, and I don't feel quite as bad, because I seem to find that there's a lot of other people where they have a certain corner that's not completed. We have some nice weapons up here. So they have a sai, and I remember trying to use those. I've done martial arts too. Those are interesting to play with. We have kind of a kind of like a javelin or so. A nice little katana sitting up here. We have a teapot, because this is actually more of an Asian theme, which I have no problem with. But this piece, this is like a little shark sub thing. So that's kind of interesting here. And on the back side, I'll flip this around so you can see this, like it's trying to make this, because this is like a wind-up toy version of it, and that arm moves around, so we can pretend we're trying to 3D print or create a small one to make as a bomb or something for them. All right. Otherwise, we have our blue plates on the bottom, which works pretty good as far as having this as a water base, kind of a water volcano. I already had this piece out here. I don't know how well you can see it. They have what looks like some teeth, but in this regard, it looks like it's supposed to be some missiles to shoot out to help take over the city. And we have some eyes here, so that looks like the robot's eyes in order to fly or swim or whatever they really want this to do. You can open it up. So looks fun and interesting. like I said, I just never got around to putting it together because I just hadn't figured out where I'm going to put it. But I guess she's going to force me to figure out where I'm going to put it now. But with that being said, it seems like it's a nice set. I never had an issue with it. I just didn't have the space. We'll find the space. Maybe we can put it next to my aircraft carrier or something like that. I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff. I'm hoping for more room so I can get all this stuff in. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's a good little play set for, if you can find one somewhere or whatever, for kids to be able to play with. Because we have some room underneath, so if you had a small boat, you could put a small boat in there. It does have an extra shark, so if you want to just chase your guys around with the shark, I think it's got some good potential. I think this is a definite winner for what Lego had done. So, in comparison to some of the other things I've picked up, I think this is good. So if you ever do find any of these at a rummage sale or somewhere, it does look pretty good. I think it's pretty neat. I think it's maybe worth a good look. So with that being said, thank you for visiting us today. I hope you have a good day and keep bricking.